For Vince Inglima, it's a no-brainer to be into the Hall of Fame. And honestly, I wouldn't expect anything less from what he achieved here.
All he ever wanted to do was win, and so he didn't care how that got done, whether he was the guy scoring the points or being successful on the court, or whether it was the other guys on the team. So as a teammate, Vince was the ultimate teammate because he didn't care how it got done as long as the job got done and we were successful.
His leadership, his presence, his attitude, his fierce competitiveness meant everything to us.
Vince is probably the most deserving Hall of Famer I've met just because of the kind of player that he was. Like I said, he was so selfless. As long as we won, he was okay with it. But Vince also stepped up when we really needed him to step up.
What he meant to me as a player, he meant just about everything. There was nothing. He wasn't a great shooter, but he made big shots. He wasn't a great defender, but he made big plays. He just had a winsome attitude that doesn't come along every day.
So my first impression of Vince was honestly that he was a little bit of a jerk on the court, but that's just because he's so competitive. He always wanted to win, whether it was an open gym, just a simple drill in practice. I still remember our senior year together, and I played point guard, so I'm guarding the ball, and I hear a whistle blow because coach called a foul, and I turn around, and Vince and his backup are on the ground wrestling each other because they just neither one of them wanted to give up an inch on the court. And like I said, that just speaks to Vince's competitiveness, and that's really what made him great.
Somebody that I'll probably did more for us than we did for him, by just being who he is, and that's why he's successful. He was successful as an assistant coach. I missed him. I didn't want him to leave, but he got a full-time job at Cal State Monterey. He's made them better. I think their record is way better since he's been there against us. That's something that I don't want to say I'm real happy about. But
when Vince was a senior, we won the conference by a one-game margin, and there was a crucial point in our season where Vince showed how great he was. He sprained his ankle severely, where it was swollen, where he could barely tie a shoe.
Trainer at LA, I said, "What do you think?" She said, "We tape him up, he could try to go." So I thought about it, and he comes walking out, and we're going to get ready to take the floor. I said, "I want you to go through warm-ups, and I'll start you. If I see you hobble or favor that ankle once, I'm taking you out."
Okay, he still went through some things in practice, but you could tell he was hobbling. Nobody expected him to play over the weekend.
He scored 26 points that night. The next night we drove up to Bakersfield. He scored about 26 points again. In the last play of the game, he was on breakaway, and I knew he was going to dunk the ball. And he jumped, and I said, "Don't land hard!" And he jumped, and he came down on both ankles like this, and he just looked at me and smiled. Like, "Coach, I got it."
Shot 75% from the three-point line, 73% from the field, and it was just really inspiring for me as a teammate to see Vince kind of just raise his level of play on that ankle, and kind of propelled us, I think, through the second half of conference, and ended up winning the conference by one game. Every single game mattered, and it was just a huge performance from him. And in my opinion, that is where I started to think that is an All-American playing, and that's what he became, and now a Hall of Famer.
I mean, not only was he one of the best players ever to step on a court here, I mean, I'd put him up with the very best. It's just his attitude, and again, his personality and his competitiveness was unsurpassed by anybody that ever coached.
We continue our friendship after. Obviously, we played as teammates in college, and we play in a bags tournament every year. If you don't know bags, you can Google it. But Vince and I are great partners because, like I said, he's a competitor, and anything he wants to do, he wants to win. So he's a perfect teammate for me because I know he's going to go out and if we don't win, he's going to be mad. So he's going to give everything he has to win that bags tournament, which we did win again this year for the second time. And so we're going to look for a 3-time champion next year. Yeah.
Well, see, Vince doesn't have a lot of emotions. He has like 2 emotions: steady and mad. Okay, so if I was to get up there, and I would probably break down, and that would embarrass him, and he'd get all, "Oh, coach, come on, toughen up, And I'm sort of glad that I'm not going to be up there, because it would be extremely emotional because of what he was and who he is.
His numbers don't lie, and through his stretch on the court at Sonoma State, there's nobody more deserving, and it's obvious that he was recognized as All-American, and deserved it, and he deserves to be a Hall of Famer as well.
I want to congratulate him. I want to tell him I love him. I'm proud of him, and every day he never disappoints me. He just keeps making me more and more proud.